Hey everybody, welcome. Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Coffee Crew is rolling in. I noticed when I first started the stream, we got to give a shout out to Paul. Paul beat Candace today. Now it's not showing in my OBS stream comments, but I saw it when I was up and logged into YouTube. So Paul, congratulations. And it also mentioned Paul. Well, good morning as well. Sorry, I can't pull up your comment, but started a new position and a new job. So same company, different job title and location. So congratulations. Hopefully, I guess that's a good thing. Congratulations on a promotion and all that good stuff. And you beat Candace. So there we go. Awesome job. First one in. Maybe the job has to start early. So you're at you're at work in front of your computer. If you're still watching, Paul, make sure you do say hi. There we go. Let's get housekeeping out of the way. Thanks for tuning in. Coffee Crew, we talk about, we go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to about 8:45, and talk about TFSAs, investing, all sorts of stuff, AI, wherever the conversation takes us. We've got a good group of people. If you're new, don't be afraid to say hello in the chat. It's always a good group of people here. We'll try and answer your questions. I'll try and answer your questions. If I can't answer it, guaranteed someone in the chat will know and steer you in the right direction if you have an investment question of that kind of thing. And that's it. Like the stream, all that good YouTube stuff. If you're watching on the replay, thank you as well. And you'll always be able to catch these on the channel. Always appreciate it. There we go. That's the housekeeping out of the way. Let's go to our good mornings as we roll in here. Excuse me. Candace, coffee, and I do have my coffee today too. Thursday, I'm going to need coffee today. Busy day at work today, which is good. Always not complaining. So, but the weather's turning so nice now, and it's like, do I want to work? But hey, have to work to be able to bring money in to be able to invest. And Candace, we'll do your joke. I laughed at this one. so ChatGPT joke of the day. Always appreciate it. Love these. Why was the green-haired rocker buying different stocks? Diversification, of course. It's the best way to keep her portfolio as vibrant as her hair color. Candace, when I was reading this, I was thinking you should dye your hair maybe bright green for the market. Seems to be doing okay today. I was reading a little bit on Twitter, kind of breaking down numbers and stuff. And are we in a bull market now from the new year? I think so. We'll see if it carries on. Been happy with the portfolio so far, which is good. Kind of slowly gaining back up. Still down, but obviously my investment's a bit more speculative, digital assets, a bit more volatility there. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. And go forward. So as always, let me know in the comments, everybody that's watching, how their portfolio is doing. How you feeling with the market? What's your feeling? What's your sentiment? It's always good. I'm always on the optimistic side. So if there's any maybe more bears out there or something, by all means, chime in. And Vic made it. Good to have you here, Vic. Welcome. Always good to have you here. Haven't seen you on the live for a bit, so always good. More the merrier. More the merrier. And Stan is here. Stan, congratulations. Again, won that channel membership yesterday. So channel member Stan as well. Sorry, Candace, channel member. Good to have everybody here. And MC is here. Good morning, MC. Hopefully you're doing well. I still haven't watched that documentary yet, MC. I will. It's on my watch list. It keeps popping up. It's finding the time to watch all these things. That's for sure. Let's pull that down. And we'll see who else is here. Naylor's here. Good to have you back. Excellent. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. These are always good. And Chad, everybody's here today. Everybody's here. Good morning. Good morning, investors. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Good question, MC. Technically, I guess tax-wise, I'm a sole proprietor. I'm a commission employee. So, not an employee. Kind of contract, I guess would be the best way to describe that. But in terms of how the tax man sees me, it's sole proprietor. So I'm 100% commission. Yeah. And it's like a contract, basically. Yeah. So if I don't work, I don't make any money. If I work, I make money. So it's always good when it's kind of busy, picking up, which is good. Okay, so yeah, so the NDX SP not quite yet. We're getting there. Tech's been going crazy lately. So we don't think we're in a bull market just yet. Okay, yeah, Yeah, I think it was more is it the Nasdaq that's in the Nasdaq that's in yeah the Nasdaq that's in a technical kind of bull market. But we'll see how it goes. I'm always optimistic. It's nice to see some green out there in your on the days as opposed to red. I think the thing is just to stick with it, stay consistent, stay. How have I been saying this year on my portfolios to stay boring and just stick with the plan and get through it all. Yeah. And yeah, you and Stan can't go back. Well, you got the 1 month anyway, so that's okay. As always, I mean the memberships it's completely voluntary. Don't feel obligated by any means. That's it's just out there. But Blue Star Power, yeah, you get the little star by your name. MC and YouTube still can't figure out how to put your initials on your name icon avatar thing, but that's okay. You're special as we go. And actually, speaking of the channel members, that was fun yesterday. I was gonna do another one today. So bear with me. Let me get another one on the go because I was hoping that maybe Paul would win this one. So I'm gonna put one more in, and we'll see. Good luck, Paul, if you're still watching. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, let's see who can maybe get it. I think you have to claim it. I don't know how all that actually works on the front end of the part. I think maybe someone has to pick it up. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Yeah, it changes month to month. I think there's 10 colors. Candace, I'd have to double check and look. I should know all these things, but I don't. But you do. After the month carries on, if you carry on with your membership, you get a different color for support. Yeah, I think I can do custom ones too. I should get some coffee mugs and stuff like that. Um, get some special ones maybe down the road. I'll figure that out. Yeah, maybe Vic. Maybe Vic if he's still here. I don't know if it gives it to the people that are watching live or how that all works. I do not know. We'll have to see. I think it says random. There we go. Okay. So how the market's, I guess, well, first thing, my market's doing okay today. That's good. I have to, I mentioned it last week. We've been talking about it a bit. I'm gonna we'll have a guest tomorrow. So on Friday, there's going to be Jordan coming on. Jordan is from a YouTube channel. His channel is Covered Call ETF Investing. So that's kind of where he's taken his portfolio. I did an interview, kind of conversation with Jordan on his channel about a month ago now. It was going, so it's over there. He did a quick, we didn't do it live. We did a recording of it. So that's on his channel. But Jordan's going to be joining me tomorrow. He's got the day off work, so he's which is taking his time out of his day off, which is awesome, to come on board. And we're gonna have a kind of just a conversation again, as always, just kind of a conversation, very, very casual. And he's got a few, his portfolio is different than mine, so we figured it would be kind of good to get it out to some different people. He's got a different style of investing. He invests in different ETFs than I do, so we'll just talk about that. He is also really active he is active over on Blossom as well. I'm not super active on Blossom, but he's over there as well. So I'll share all his. I'll get that live stream for tomorrow posted with Jordan later on today, and it will be on the channel. You can come and join. So I think it should be good. Always nice to have some new conversation, new people joining. And as always, I think we've mentioned too, Candace, you're welcome back anytime too. We do have to set that up one day. We'll get that going again. And anybody else is watching, if you have a channel, I know there's a few people that have kind of thinking of starting channels. They're more than welcome to come on. I could probably, if anybody has a suggestion, if there's anybody they think they might want to have come on, let me know as well, because I will reach out to them. These streams are as much about everybody else and not just me. So if there's somebody in particular that you wanted to maybe come on board and see if I can get them to come on over, I will try. I will reach out to them. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends, Candace, how many people are watching and all that kind of stuff. I think we have 10 or 11 people kind of watching right now. But I guess it depends if they're, I think also too, Candace, I think it depends on your type of account with YouTube. I think there's a setting somewhere that you can accept them or not somehow in there. I think in the live streams, I'm not sure. I know for me, I looked at that because I know you gave some away on your channel. I'm like, oh, I didn't get those. I didn't get the membership. I mean, I subscribed to your channel as a member, but I didn't get the membership. But I was looking, and I have a type of account in my YouTube that is called a brand. I think it's a brand account. So it doesn't let me accept gift memberships for whatever reason, because I have like another YouTube channel kind of under the same account. Must have to do with that. I'm not sure. So it basically gives it to any active subscriber. So there we go. Someone will come on eventually and maybe get it. I don't know how that works. We need Paul back, or we need Vic back to be able to pick it up. Last time it was kind of delayed, so we'll see what happens. All good. Warren Buffett. Yeah, I was gonna preface that with possible, like without. I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. That would be a good one. But I think he's a little bit above coming on this little channel. I don't know. Does he even know how to live stream? It's hard to know with him. That could be an interesting one. Probably not. I have a feeling if I was to email Warren Buffett, it would I probably wouldn't even get an auto reply. So I think realistic people. There is a number of people that are that I kind of know on through Blossom and through YouTube. It'd be good to kind of get them on. The hard part is kind of sometimes getting the scheduling right. Obviously, people work. They can't always get on, and I work. I do this, like I do these streams before my work day in the day, and weekends I usually like to have off. Because you do this all week, and it is part of. I mean, it's not a job. It's fun, but by the weekend you're ready to relax a little bit. So and Vic is here. So maybe Vic, there is a membership up there. If you scroll up, I think you can claim it. We'll see. We'll see how it divvies it up. But anyways, there we go. On news, if there's anything that people want to talk about, I didn't pull up any kind of news today. It seems like. We're kind of in that zone of not much happening, no kind of big meetings or anything today. So I didn't pull up any articles, but as always, if there's anything anybody wants to, that's anything on people's minds, let me know in the comments, and we'll go that direction. It's always good. I heard, he replies to snail mail. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Him or like a assistant or secretary probably does. It's probably maybe it is him. You never know. The problem with snail mail, MC, if I was to write an actual letter out, he would never be able to. He would never be able to read my writing because it is horrendous. I'd have to print it definitely. But then again, I don't have a printer. I'd have to. For me to snail mail something would be quite a process. I would have to first get a printer to print the letter, or go get it printed. I don't have any envelopes, and I would have to definitely get some stamps. It's been a long time since I've had to mail. When's the last? I mean, I can't remember the last time I had to mail something. It's been a long time. Long time. Although I have a friend down in the States, and she does she's retired, and she does for her hobby, she makes cards, like she makes homemade, and she's getting really good. She took calligraphy does calligraphy, all that kind of stuff. So she sends out letters like on holidays and stuff like that, Christmas and Easter. So there probably will be an Easter one coming pretty soon. But it's always funny. She's down in Illinois, and by the time I always get the cards, it's always way past the holiday. Like I'll get a Christmas card mid-January because it just takes forever for the post to get there. I tried snail mail, but the snails scream too much when you try to write them. Yeah, it's true. But it's nice. You know what? It's nice to get. It is actually kind of nice to get a card and like something in the mail that's not a bill. I don't even get a ton of bills in the mail because a lot of the stuff is all electronic now, anyways. But so it's nice to actually get. There's also nice to get actual mail that isn't a bill. And handwrite it. Yeah, cursive. Yeah, I can write cursive. I can. It's terrible, but I can do it if I take my time. It would take me a long time because my hand would get sore because I don't write anything. I use a keyboard all the time. And yeah, I do. Some of the things, some yes, some no. I mean, he's obviously done well. He's probably, I mean, yeah, I've watched a few interviews and stuff with him. I should check out that. I'll check out I'll check out that documentary. Another good one. Thanks, MC. He's I don't necessarily agree with what him and Charlie say about crypto, but hey, that's okay. They're in their 90s, so that's all good. And Vic can write cursive. I don't think they teach. I don't think they teach cursive in school anymore, from my understanding. I think I'm not. I don't have kids, so but I've heard that. But we had to learn that. We learned printing and had to learn cursive. I think it was yeah, cursive, and it was terrible. It was always bad. I always have had bad writing and printing. I don't know why. Take after my dad. And yeah, you can write in the dirt. That's pretty much all you get. Coupons, and in the mail and flyers. Yeah, food flyers and coupons, and then yeah, I don't. I live in like it's a building. It's a rented. And it's all rentals, so I don't really get any real estate stuff. If I can remember, I always just throw out the flyers anyways, or recycle them. I don't even look at them. So I don't order in pizza and stuff like that. So I always kind of just, you get the flyer and you just toss it in the recycle bin that's right there. It's kind of a waste of time. So half the time when I go and check the mail, there's no mail. Just every once in a while, you maybe go look for it if you're waiting for something. You think you might be waiting for something to come in the mail or a package or something like that. But yeah. May 6th is Berkshire. His meetings are always good to kind of listen to. It's always like a big event, right? It's like a giant like pep rally almost. People come from all over, all down there, and yeah, take a trip down there. I'm not invested in Berkshire, but people, that's what people do though, right? They travel from far and wide to go and see Warren and Charlie for the meeting. He's always up on stage. I think he's always has his Coke. Is it Coca-Cola? And then there's something else he's always, what else does he always have in front of him that he eats? Isn't it some peanuts or something like that? I forget what he eats as a snack. And it's all some of his companies that he's invested, done well though. I think you can learn, you know what, I think from Warren Buffett, I mean, you can kind of, you can take you can take the lessons and the nuggets of information from him. And he's always kind of been, as you hear him speak, talking about the long term, and that that's his. He's not in there for necessarily a quick buck. He looks for opportunities, right? It's always the sayings, right? If there's panic out there, that's when he's looking to buy, and he's a long term holder. I think I maybe get that a little bit from him. Yeah, you can definitely learn. You can definitely learn from these big investors, that's for sure. And there's I've shared a couple like kind of clips of him on, like, in terms of shorts, and there's some that make perfect sense, right? Like investing, and don't invest if you have like a credit card bill that you're better off paying off, right? Because I mean, he's like, if you say you want to invest $1,000, but your credit card has a balance on it, it's like you're better off putting it on your credit card, because to make 18-19% on the market is a lot of times pretty rare, and you're better off putting that towards your any kind of debt you have that you're able to do. Get rid of that first, and then move forward with investing. Just little things like that kind of do make sense. And he's a smart cookie. Some people, you love him or hate him, but I think you can learn a little bit from those kind of things, going forward. And let me make sure I got all the comments. Oh, Vic had mentioned something. What Bora? Sorry, I don't know if there's something with the CDR. Maybe clarify a bit on that. Vic, I'm not sure. I haven't read anything about recently in the news popped up, but let me know. And I don't know. No one's got the membership. It's gone into limbo. At least it hasn't shown. It hasn't shown me. So it's up for grabs. Yeah, I don't know. We need some more people in here. Make sure everybody has liked this stream, I guess, to get some people in here for YouTube. One thing I've noticed, it's interesting, market wise. As we talked about like a couple weeks ago, I noticed an uptick in the channel in terms of views and in terms of people joining in, that kind of stuff. But it's kind of petered down a little bit. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Candace, not as many people on average, maybe on the live stream. I know a lot of people that normally have joined on. I mean, look at Paul, new job. Zach has a new job. So there's people are busy in their lives, which is a good thing too. So new CD. Oh, so the boring. Okay, that's where I get. Okay, yeah, we talked about that kind of the other day. This new CDR stocks are pretty lame. And we talked about that, Vic. I have the Tesla CDR. I can't remember what ones they added. They added a few new ones. Let me just pull this up. Some of these like are always the websites are always terrible to find, and they don't break it down, the new ones. I can't find. And Vic, we were talking about the new ones, but yeah, I mean, there's lots in there. There's I think 50 or something right now, Vic, but we'll have to see how that carries through. Tesla's the only one that I do have. Yeah. Berkshire, actually, insurance company that invests in capital that comes in. Most insurance companies invest premiums and mostly bonds and fixed income. There we go. Yeah, he's done. I mean, Berkshire's done really well. It's definitely is. And Berkshire, you can get the CDR. There we go. As we talk about CDRs, and doesn't Berkshire also have one of the purpose yield shares as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think it does. Oh, and Candace, there you go. Thanks, Candace. Or did you get gifted one? There's another one. Somebody's got to get these. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Buffett did buy Apple. I still, again, you shouldn't look back in the past, but I think I'd mentioned, Vic, at one point in one of the streams a long, long time ago. When Steve Jobs first came back to Apple as the interim CEO, and I almost bought Apple shares at that point. I used the money for down. I shouldn't say it was the wrong. Well, in hindsight, it was maybe the wrong decision. But at the time, I put the money towards a down payment of a apartment for the first time home buyer. But I was thinking of actually investing in Apple at the time, and I actually got all the. This is back when you had to do everything. Again, talk about writing in letters. I had to get the application to set up a trading account in the mail, and I started to do it, and I just put it off, didn't do it, and there we go. The rest is history. I think there's actually a website. There's actually a website that had you can work out like had you bought Apple stock at whatever back this date, what would it be worth today, kind of thing. And I've gone back there and looked at it, and had I done it and held it till like that amount until today, basically, I wouldn't be doing live streams. I would be sitting on a beach, probably somewhere, with my feet up right about now, had I done it, but that's okay. It's always, you kind of look at it. It could have gone either way at that time, especially with Apple. When Steve came back to Apple, they were in bad shape. But oh, okay. When a membership came, I had to click on a thing to allow the gift from a channel. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure, MC, how it works. I don't see it on that end as the administrator. So, as we go. Would be interesting for Boeing CDR. Isn't that one they added? Hold on here. No, they added here. Let me pull this up, Naylor, because they added a number of them the other day, and that's actually on there. Let's share this. There we go. I'll move your comment, Naylor. But it's gonna be hard to see. But yeah, there's a Boeing CDR right there. I think it literally just just started. I was trying to find the news on like. Oh, it's probably in their media. Here we go. CIBC Press. It's like these sometimes these websites. Here we go. Came out. So this was November. No, this is old. November 25th. See, they're not even like they don't even update their website. It was earlier this. It was basically earlier this week. So there is a Boeing one, and I wish it was easier to see these news releases. Let me see if I can find what I think it was. Was it Tuesday they came out? If I'm not mistaken. There you go. Yeah, there's a new one. XOM, CXV, Intel, Citibank, Uber was another one, and I think Boeing was maybe one of them too. But we'll see. Yeah, it's like sitting in a it's sitting there. That's so funny. So there's 41 in total. It's close to that. There we go. Uh, I hold a CDR in TFSA and get dividends club. Oh yeah, because they do you get the tax stuff. And you hold Berkshire, and yeah, that's the thing. Because you can look at it, but you know that you would never, Vic, you would never probably have held it that long. You would have probably taken your money and ran at some point, or had it gone down, you would have panicked or whatever. But it's always kind of interesting. Those are kind of interesting to look at because you can kind of look at. I think maybe like had you look at say a long because if you're a long as a long term investor, you kind of know like hey over 20 years this is put the potential that we can look at, right? Just kind of gets it in your mind about having to not always try and be smart and try and overly time things and overly trade things, that kind of stuff. But yeah, hindsight it is always 2020. Part of that though, thinking back on that, Vic, is the how easy it is now to sign up for a trading account that is free, right? I mean, when I first tried to do it, this would have been back in like to 2001 maybe. I can't remember fully. Probably around 2000. But you'd have to get a package from in the mail, like they'd send it out, and then you had to fill it all out. You'd have to send it all back in. It had to get processed, and then it was a big process. Now you can literally have your phone, click a few buttons, and you're set up on something like Wealthsimple, Questrade, or whatever. It's like literally almost literally instant to get that set up to get that set up, which is pretty crazy how the times. Yeah, that's true, right? Learning to look back is that's the hard part, right? Trying to find these things who would be the next Apple, the next Microsoft, the next whatever. Um, there's probably a name in the AI that there probably is, and this is the good thing. I mean, it's probably not Chat GPT. It's probably something else. That's the big kind of gamble, or you know that's the hard part, is finding these things. That being said, with Apple has their, maybe something to keep an eye on. They do have their developers conference coming up. They've just announced, and there's always rumors that fly around it, right? And there's talk of some more stuff coming out with AI, and possibly with some kind of like new product, right? So whether that's Apple, there's been rumors with Apple with a headset, like a headset thing for a while now. So maybe we'll start to see something like that. It's really hard to know, but it's finding the next big one that will emerge. That will be the next Apple. It might be something in a completely different tech side, in tech still, but it might be something completely different than AI. It might be, I mean, the next big one could be, could be Starlink. It could be, not to pick on Elon, but it could be Starlink, could be SpaceX, might be, if we end up down the road actually going to Mars, that if that goes public, that would probably be something insane. But this might not be even in my lifetime or whatever. It's really hard to know. Really hard to know. Boeing added months ago. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I haven't really. Again, like I said, the only one I really have uh, is Tesla. And you had Boeing 7 years ago. Yeah, that's what happened. Things can change, right? Boeing seven years ago, 400, and recently 118. Boeing had a lot of those issues with the, well, obviously we're obviously impacted with the whole 2020 COVID thing with airlines, but also the what is it, the seven, what's their plane that was not 767, the max. A study showed, I shouldn't laugh at that. A study showed that the accounts with the greatest returns were generally people who had died. They don't finick with they don't mess with their accounts. I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, let it sit, right? And that's the biggest detriment, is you're looking at stuff and you're like, you want things to happen faster. It's learning patience. And holding it. There must be. I always think maybe one day I'll find. I'm probably. I guarantee I'm not. But I think one day you find one of your grandparents or parents some old account somewhere that's sitting there, that you don't mess around with it. That kind of happened to my brother. We were. I think I mentioned before, MC. We were setting up. Getting all the banking stuff set up with my parents because we're getting older, so we were getting all that organized in terms of power of attorney and stuff with the banks and everything else set up. But in the process, as kids, my brother and I had accounts, and I had a savings account at the bank, and the bank that I don't use anymore, and I had closed mine off long ago. But in this whole process of figuring out with my parents and stuff, is my brother found out he had an account still active from when he was a kid, and it had, I think probably, there wasn't much in there. I think it ended up being like about $65 or something like that. It was under $100, but it was all just interest that had been kind of, because it was in like a kid's free account for ever, and it just kind of had been sitting there. And of course you move and everything else, and you don't transfer your stuff, so there you go. So it was a nice little surprise going to the bank. He walked out with 65, $70 as he closed his account. So yeah, or forget your password. Yeah, you definitely don't want to forget your password or where your things are. That's for sure. That's a big thing. I think people have to be, and I could see that. I could see some things like that happening. I guess not to dwell on death, right? But make sure you're set up with that. If you have people, that you're leaving things to or whatever, make sure that's all set up and you have everything kind of accounted for, because things can go missing if they don't know. If people, if no one knows about it, that you have. I mean, whatever, right? You never know. You want to make sure it gets passed along. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because everybody, sentiments change and everything else. It's really hard. It's really hard, because then you start to see other opportunities, other places that you want to change, and I can see that it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating and difficult. That is for sure. Um, that is for sure. Yeah, good call. Let's get that in the comments, Vic. What is the next Apple? It 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 could, I'm leaning towards a Tesla, but that's just my thinking. I think there's a lot happening there that we're not people aren't maybe seeing with the AI in the vehicles, autonomous vehicles. Eventually, I mean, this is down the road. Um, there's a reason Elon bought. There's a reason Elon bought and lost money on Twitter. There's so much data there that I think will be pulled in. They're accessing and using for their AI. Yeah, that's what I think. I could be completely wrong, but if anybody else has any ideas, let's fire that up. And MC's, I think, on the. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your comment as I said that. It does. It's gone up lately. I kind of think the best days are ahead of it. If they can work on getting, obviously they have to produce, right, and they have to. I mean, It's one thing to announce things, but it takes time to get it actually into production. Cybertruck, everything is always delayed, right? Whether they're overestimating what they can accomplish, but I think it does have some potential, especially with the AI and self-driving. Once that happens, it's just a matter of time. That probably every it might not be in my lifetime, but probably every car on the street is going to be driving itself. probably, or fleets of stuff that, taxis, that kind of thing. It's just a matter of, but again, I think it's years and years down the road, we still need that infrastructure with charging and what have you. But it's getting there. Yeah, that's where I'm kind of thinking. And your first stock was BlackBerry. I never owned BlackBerry, but that was popular. But then look what can happen, right? This is the thing. Yeah. You never forget your first. My first, I'd have to look back on the channel. It was probably like VDY or something like that. So it was like an ETF. I think it was probably one of the first ones I bought. I have to look back, Vic, on what. You never forget what you lose money on. But of course, I didn't lose too much money, less than $200 on Cielo. But I'm going to hang on to that one. Maybe that'll take off. We'll see. But like I've said, I've spent worse money on different things. But we'll have to see. Another, yeah, never disrupt compounding. Yeah, because that's what you get. You start to look like I have my savings, like I have a savings account MC, and not that it's making huge. It's nice to have a bit of actually be making a little bit of interest right now, and you see that, like even something as simple as a savings account kind of start to compound, which is nice. But you're sometimes tempted to go, oh, should I take this out and put it in here? But then you kind of look at that. It comes down to patience. It's such a hard like. It's being patient. Being patient is the hardest part I found with investing. You want things to move. You want things to move. You want things to move faster. That's for sure. There's a story in the Wall Street Journal about a retirees living with less than $1 million. The couple sold everything on the 2008 low, sold everything and never got back in. Yeah, that's exactly it, right? It's easy to kind of panic, and we saw it it was kind of before I really started investing, like for my self-directed. With 2020, it came right back down. Everybody thinks it's the well, then we thought it was probably the end of the world, but you start to see that things come back, right? And we're seeing that now again. We'll look back again in a few years and go, there was such a golden opportunity, right? Possibly, but lesson learned is just to keep slow and steady, boring, keep being boring. And Allison got, there we go. Congratulations, Allison. Thanks. Congratulations, Allison, gifted membership. Now, Candace, I don't know where mine went. I guess there's maybe one still up for grabs. Mine is in limbo. Let me see if maybe I missed that. So Candace gifted one. I gifted one. No one got it. Still up for grabs. Well, and thanks for donating that, Candace. And Allison, welcome to be a channel member for the month. It's good to have you here. You'll see a couple extra videos on the channel now, and also on the membership tab. I share when I buy and sell, that kind of stuff, and when dividends come in, you'll get those up there as well. And you can also feel free to ask any questions, that kind of stuff, in the members. Good call. I wonder where mine is. Worried about that. Oh well. I would say I'd do another one, but it'll probably just get stuck in limbo. Yeah. On your question, Vic, what was your first stock? BlackBerry. What was everybody else's first stock that they ever bought? If you remember, I'd have to look. I'll look back on my. I'd have to look back on my to find the exact one that I actually bought. Let me see. I will have it listed on my first video. Let me go check. We're actually almost coming up for, speaking of first stock I bought, we're actually coming up to the two-year anniversary. April 1st will be the two-year anniversary of the channel, which is awesome. Keeps on going. It started on April 1st, 2021. So time flies when you're having fun. So my first one, my first deposit, my first purchase I bought, it was VDY. There we go. VDY would have been my first one. So technically a ETF. But I actually did buy, at the time, I did buy some some Cineplex as well. And Cineplex was actually one I sold and made a little bit of money on, which was good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my first was an ETF. MC owned BlackBerry, worst investment ever. That's unfortunate. I know that's unfortunate, but you never know. BlackBerry was like everywhere. I had a BlackBerry. Everybody had a BlackBerry. They just it's like iPhones killed them, and yeah. And Candace's first one was Fortis. Very first stock was Fortis. And Naylor's was it was a telecom back home in Ireland in the late 90s. Okay, there you go. Telecoms. And Gursky Beef. Oh, welcome, Gursky Beef. Thank you. First comment. That's awesome. Thanks for joining. I think it's a channel membership up for grabs if you can grab it. Enbridge. There we go. Energy. That's awesome. You flash, yeah, they're down in frustration. Oh, you see, you didn't own a BlackBerry. Yeah, they were handy at the time. I had a BlackBerry. Something about them too. I mean, I can't the simplicity. Looking back at them now, I think having one now would actually be. I mean, the whole thing was like physical keyboard bad, Apple good, whatever, right? But the simplicity of them, I think now for messaging and stuff would actually be I would actually use, because it had it had the BlackBerry Messenger, and you could do your thing, right, and it didn't have all the notifications, all the distractions with apps, all that kind of stuff. It was a tool. It served a purpose, and it didn't have all those distractions. So maybe they'll come back. I don't think they'll come back, but maybe there's some opportunity. I don't know. I don't use my phone a ton other than really for phoning. I don't even I really actually don't even text very often on my phone. Most part when I'm texting, it's because I'm receiving a two-factor authorization. I don't use text for work with clients or anything like that, because it's it just doesn't work, because if I get texts and stuff, I forget them. So it's like email, phone calls that has to get tracked. So text stuff, if I get text, it's very annoying because I have to save all the texts, and of course it's like screenshots and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work. So I don't text at all, really. Don't text at all. So first stock was between Power Financials or Tim Hortons. I went for your dad's recommendation of Power Financial and learned a lesson with that. Pick your own stocks and then listening to others. That good call. And we say that on here too, right? Not financial advice. It sounds like the cliche thing, but it's true. I think you should always kind of make your own picks, because you need to have your own. If you it goes both ways. Like you get suggestion from someone, and if you buy it and and it goes down, you're mad at the person because they told you to do it and you maybe wouldn't have done it yourself. And then on the flip side, if you don't buy it and it goes crazy, you're mad at them and you keep telling them I should have bought, and they keep telling you should have bought that. I told you so. So do it on your own. That's the big thing. I always say that in the channel as well. Like don't buy anything that I'm buying, because you want to do it yourself. Do it for yourself and make your own decisions. And that's how you learn, right? But you use suggestions from people to look at, and when you're ready, if it's something that fits with your style of investing and your goals, then by all means. But don't just follow blindly into stuff. And yeah, Tim Hortons did do well. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, Candace. So if you scroll up to the comments, if there should be a link below it to let you enable gifts, and that way someone can grab it. Yeah, there we go. Someone will eventually get it. I guess I don't know how that all works. I don't think it'll refund me, but it is there. And I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. I don't think I can post it. Yeah, it's there. Can I pin it? No, I can't. But it is there, so I can show it. But I can't. I can't do anything with that, Candace. Unfortunately. I can't share the link or anything. And with smartphones, apps, yeah, and apps where that's where they make a lot of the money too, right, from the app stores and everything else. And the BlackBerry OS was harder. Yeah, I think because it had probably to do with the security of it and stuff like that. And I don't think they were just not capable of, I think, running the same apps, obviously, right? So developers are going to go where it's easiest, and more and have the place, like Apple always had the App Store. Then they started to build that it is a way for developers to earn revenue as well. So that's where they're going to go, right, for iOS and Android. I would even say Apple even has. I mean, there's a lot of duplicate apps, right? I have an Android phone, and there's a lot of obviously duplicate apps between iOS and Android applications. But I would say even the Apple, probably in general, I think a lot of the Apple apps are better than Android. I kind of got into using Android because I use the Gmail for work, and I have all the Google like the apps with that, Gmail with the big one. And at the time, when the Apple iPhone came out, like it didn't run the Gmail app, like they didn't run the apps properly, and there was features on the Android Gmail that weren't on Apple, so it just made sense to stick with to go with Android, and that's what I did. And because I didn't like the Apple Mail, like the Apple Mail didn't interface properly with my Gmail, like a whole big song and dance. It just didn't work. But I think now it's probably fairly level. But I've just kept Android ever since, just for. Yeah, that's the thing. But I will admit I lined up to get the iPhone. Yeah, I was jealous because my brother was he was working down in the States at the time, and it came out obviously in the United States before it came out in Canada, and he ended up getting one down there, and I was jealous of that. And it was like, that's the thing. Yeah, the first one that kind of came out, it was the, I forget what, it might have not have been the 3G one or whatever it was, but when it came out, the mug app where you could like just all the silly apps. And that's the thing, it was a sign that Apple won, because they definitely had the people on board. I remember first seeing it, like on the, when you first see the keynote of it, and it was just like, it looked like a space device, right, back in the day, compared to everything else that was on the market, because we were coming from little regular phones, right? BlackBerry was the like smartphone, but it was nowhere near what Apple was all of a sudden. So yeah, that's when you knew. Yeah, that's when they knew they won. That's when I should have bought more. Apples. I should have bought Apple stock back then too, instead of buying. There's another website that says, had you bought Apple stock instead of an iPhone, how much would that stock be worth, right? But because that's when the time when people would buy iPhones every year, and a lot of people still do. Yeah, and all the maps and everything else. Yeah, find your. How many times like they had to find your phone. Their voicemail is still the best on the visual voicemail is still the best thing out there. When I had my Apple iPhone, it was great because you could just skip over messages instead of having to call in. I mean, now it sends you a text message with the attachment to listen to, but you still have to go in and manually delete them, that kind of stuff. But it's definitely definitely did a good job. I keep kind of thinking sometimes if I get another phone down the road, it might be an Apple, but I'm happy with mine till it breaks. So yeah, they're doing well. I mean, obviously, I think iPhone sales are down for those reasons, a little bit of reasons, but there'll be another Apple device of some kind. I mean, the watch is out. I think we'll see that push into medical, obviously into the medical, with all the tracking it does for your health. That will only expand, and I think that's somewhere that they can definitely keep it in the lead on. I don't have an Apple Watch, but I have friends that do. They track like heart, track all your exercise, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. That's what it was. Yeah, it didn't kind of go out. It didn't push them out properly and stuff. It was just clunky. And there was no, at the time, there was no app, like there was no Gmail app, right? So it didn't work. So I mean, I did use an iPhone for the longest time, but it was never ideal to interface and use with Google. It's obviously for I mean, obviously they're two separate companies, so that's why they never worked super perfectly, and I just never changed back. So I had the iPhone 3. I think it was the iPhone 3G, as you mentioned that. It wasn't like the first. I never had the first iPhone. I don't think I had the next one or the 3GS or something like that. I forget what it was. I still have it somewhere. Yeah, I had a coworker, MC, that had a BlackBerry for ages and ages and ages. And I think even I don't want to say still does, but had it for a very long time, and liked it. Had BBM, had the keyboard that he liked, and yeah. But again, it can only keep you going for so long. Yeah, they just never. Yeah, they lost that battle. But it'll be interesting to see what's next, right? This is the thing. What's next? Okay, so it was the 3G, right? There we go. Yeah, my brother had the three or the first one, but the 3G came out when it came in from Rogers. I think I lined up and got one, and there was like, like this is back when the stores had like, 10, they got like 10 phones or something like that. So only the first few people in line got one, and it was a big production. So always a big production. All right. Well, hey, there we go. It's funny, I always just looked at the clock. So before we go, if anybody else is still watching there, think there's still a membership to claim. I don't know if anybody can reclaim it. And I don't know where that's going to go. Um, we'll, we'll see. Anyways, if you're maybe watching on the replay, you can grab it. I don't know how all that works. But I do appreciate everybody else, and again, thanks Candace for gifting that other one that got snapped up. Always good, new members on the channel. It's always kind of fun, and coming up again to 9 o'clock. So I do have to get to work. There we go. Gursky Beef got it. Awesome. Welcome to the channel. There you go. It got taken. We'll do that again next time. Those are always fun. There we go. Coming up 9 o'clock. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And just a reminder, we'll have Jordan on tomorrow. Going to go back old school tomorrow to StreamYard for the interview. So we'll be on that. Maybe bring back the fireplace for a little bit to start off that one. But we'll have Jordan on tomorrow. Looking forward to have him on. I will link and have that posted up later today, so you can hit that reminder. And then also I'll have links to Jordan's channel. So if you're not subscribed to Jordan, you'll be able to subscribe to later today or when you're watching the live stream tomorrow. Always good. Tomorrow's Friday, so that's always good. End of the week, and we will. We'll end it with Candace's comment here. Have a great rest of the day, and happy investing, everybody.